Good morning, y'all. Hope everybody's doing all right this morning. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, and this is episode 7 of December Things. When I initially started this, I had big hopes. I said, I'm going to start on December 1st, and each episode will coincide with the day. But I quickly realized that that was not going to be the case because showing up every single day at the same time requires a set schedule, and I just don't have that in my life right now. I go with the flow. So I hope everybody's doing all right. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you happen to pass through this. This episode is a live stream. I alternate. I've done one audio upload. So whichever way the wind blows, however the day is going to dictate what gets uploaded for the December Things series. This series consists of a daily live stream or audio upload. It's just intended to promote wellness, uplift individuals, encourage and inspire those who come across it. So I feel like we've covered some decent topics so far. Today, we're going to talk about comparison and how it steals your joy, and it's also a master manipulator. So think about that. We hear comparison is the thief of joy all the time. And like I said before on a previous episode, it never hurts to hear things more than once and more than twice. I personally feel like repetition is key. I love to talk, I love to have conversations about all things wellness. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about comparison and what it can do to you. It robs you of your chance to really be who you are because you're always comparing yourself to somebody else. Always, always, always. I've been at in that stage of my life where I would look at what the next person was doing and, well, how are they doing that? Or I have this, but I'm not as far along as they are. What's the problem? What let me do what they're doing. Let me try to be like them. And you have to be yourself. Comparing yourself to others often robs you of your chance to be unique. It robs you of the chance to implement your creativity and your thoughts into what you're doing. Comparing yourself to others takes away the uniqueness of your journey. You don't get to experience all the things that are for you because you're so busy trying to experience things that are for other people. And I don't see that anywhere more often these days than right here on social media. I see it in the workplace too sometimes, but I see it in personal life also, where folks are trying to acquire something somebody else has. Folks are trying to one up somebody so that they can be next in line for a promotion. It's just a constant rat race of who can do this better. Let me try and be like this person. And I don't really think that works out well for those of us who really have our own ideas of who we want to be. There's a behavior called mirroring that is in the mental health space. So sometimes therapists use it, sometimes psychologists use it. There are even mirror neurons, so cells in your brain that are supposed to help with a form of emotional regulation. So the jury's still out on what they actually do, and I won't bore you with that. If you can't tell, I like looking up stuff like that. I'm a researcher by training. So I have a PhD in the area of comparative medicine. And I really like stuff like that. But I've chosen to use my research and my enjoyment of mental wellness content to actually be more so in the life coach sector than the actual um, scientific research sector. So sometimes people mirror subconsciously, like you're just having a good time in conversation, and all of a sudden they say, yeah, and then you give a response and you say, yeah, or you see two people talking and they have their legs crossed the same way, or they have their hand under their chin the same way. There's some mirroring taking place there. It's a subconscious act. But then there's mirroring where people actually take the time to study other folk, consume things that they put out, look at how they move in their day to day actions and mannerisms and words that they say in conversation, and they adapt that as if it's their own, trying to be that person. And that's not healthy. Comparison is actually robbing you of being who you are in favor of being somebody else. It's my opinion that that's how come there's so many people walking around these days that really don't know who they are as individuals. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they like. They don't know how to deal with personal situations that come up because all the days of their lives, they're busy trying to be somebody else, to get where somebody else has gotten, to have what somebody else has, just to be, hey, Mo, just so they can be like them. She says, I'm at work listening, and yes, I see a lot of mirroring on social media. Right. I to an extent, I can understand because things are catchy, things are trendy, things are viral. I think that stuff is in a different bucket than, say, for instance, content creators or in social media influencers, or people who are starting their own brands. The viral stuff and the trendy stuff is different. And what I think people fail to realize is there's only one original. You can get away with copying somebody for a bit, but eventually, right, people are going to get found out because social media algorithm has things grouped together. So, exactly. If I follow one social media content creator and I'm enjoying the content and I'm like, there are other people kind of creating content in that same arena, let me go see what else is out there. But the next two or three people that I try to watch or consume their content, they're looking just like the OG that I've been watching for months and years. So there's definitely something wrong with that. That's when you have to step back and say, wait a minute, I'm comparing myself to this person. I'm trying to be like this person, and I don't have my own identity, right? So that's the first thing. I feel like comparison robs you of your chance to be who you are. And yes, I did take notes write notes down because, like I said, I will talk, 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 talk. And pretty soon this broadcast will be half an hour long. And I'll be like, hey, girl. So comparison also breeds jealousy, resentment, and depression. It can literally take you from being the most vibrant, joyful, creative person with big dreams, long range plans and goals of where you want to take your brand or where you want to go in your career, to being somewhere isolated, trying to figure out how you can one up the next person, how you can do exactly what somebody else is doing, how you can shave off people's community, shave it off and kind of recruit people over to yourself. That's why so many people don't allow other content creators in the social media world to come on their posts and advertise about what you do and what I do and what I have. It's because you you can't really trust everybody these days. Everybody isn't genuine. Folks are trying to be you. Folks are comparing themselves. They want a fast track to fame. And I tell you what, the fast track to fame is not it. You need to take time to enjoy your journey. I used to have a sign hanging behind me in my home office before I moved to this new place. Hey, Deborah Ray. And it said, always take the scenic route. That means enjoy the scenery on your journey, wherever you're going, whatever comes up in your lane, deal with it. It may be something that's a good little piece of scenery that you like. And I'm using scenery in an abstract way, but if your elevator goes to the penthouse, then you understand what I'm saying. But if it's the penthouse happens to be on the second floor, then we got a little bit of work to do. Enjoy your journey. Enjoy it. Stop trying to take somebody else's journey, because some journeys are only made for one. And this is a marathon, not a sprint. Another cliche that I hear often, but you got to talk to people how they're going to understand. And then you can break it down after you say what you got to say, right? So the process to getting where you want to be is sometimes long and slow, but it's my opinion and my experience that those slow processes that actually take the work, the sweat, the tears, the research, the try this and see if it worked. No, that doesn't work. Let me look at my analytics. Let me look at my performance review at work. Let me look at my circle of friends and see what needs to change, instead of just trying to say, oh, this didn't work, let me go be like this person. No, that puts you in a depressive state so fast. Be yourself. Quit comparing yourself to everybody else. Run your own race. I look at some of these people who get to the top really fast in whatever it is they're doing. It often doesn't last. It either doesn't last or they don't appreciate it and they squander opportunities because things have been handed to them and they didn't really have to work for anything. You get what I'm saying? Do you know anybody like that? Have you seen circumstances where people are just given things, or they happen to blow up overnight and then all of a sudden, for lack of better words, the shit hits the fan and then everybody's looking crazy around them like, what happened? Sometimes it's just better to take things day by day, keep showing up, being consistent, working your own plan. And if you use something somebody else says or does, give them credit for it. It's just like plagiarism when you're writing an essay. You can't take somebody's whole book or whole essay of something and reproduce it as your own without giving them credit. Do the same in your journey. Collaborate, build community, but stop comparing yourself to other people and be unique. Be the original. So instead of comparing, you can I like alliteration, right? That's where you start. If I'm preaching to the choir and you're coming along this recording or you in the comments and it sounds like I'm dumbing things down or making it plain, that's what I do. In addition to being a researcher, I was also a teacher. I taught 7th grade at one point. So I got to make sure you got the fundamentals, right? So alliteration, that's when you use words that all kind of start with the same thing, right? So Deborah Ray says, I noticed that my life journey as a retired senior is totally different from my younger years. I definitely had to readjust myself. Well, that's, those are what I like to refer to as seasons, right? Sometimes we look up and things are totally different than how we anticipated, or totally different than they were last week, or we've come to the realization that, this season in life may be over. Let me readjust. So you accept first, you accept it, and then you understand that life moves like it's supposed to move, and you adjust. So like I was saying with alliteration, instead of comparing yourselves to others, you can always collaborate. You can have conversation, and you can build community. Now, y'all, that was off the dome. I promise. That's not in this little notebook I got. It's not. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write it down, because the next workshop I do that talks about this kind of stuff, I'm gonna use it. Instead of comparing, now if you got a notebook, go ahead and write it down. You can collaborate, you can have conversation, and you can build community. Cut the comparison and cut the competition. That's the third thing. So we talked about collaboration, comparison robbing you of your chance to be who you are. We talked a little bit about it breeding jealousy, resentment, and depression. And now you trying to one up, you trying to even sabotage stuff that people do. If it ever gets that serious, like Mo says, call the white jacket people. If you're trying to sabotage somebody else, you over the line. You definitely over the line. Comparing yourself to others also promotes unhealthy competition. So now we're talking about, if you're in the workspace, we're talking about undermining colleagues that you're supposed to have these really good relationships with. Now you're comparing yourself to them. You want the position they have, and now you're in an unhealthy competition. What they say, by any means necessary. You gonna more laughing about the white jacket people. You're gonna do whatever it takes to just sabotage them, make their work look like it's not up to par. Here you are spying on them, seeing what time they leave out for their breaks and how long they've been gone and what they do when they come back. Come on now. If you're in the social media realm, now you got personal attacks going on. They go live, you go live, they make a post, you make a post. That stuff ain't draining. I don't know, because that's not me. That's not my character. I will never let it get that far. I have what I call my chosen few that kind of look in on my stuff every now and then. And I said, now you let me know. My sister and my mom in particular, I said, if you ever see me cutting up so bad and that's not my character, let me know. I will listen to you. Oh, and one more friend of mine that lives in Macon, Georgia. And I said, and also, if you ever come to the point, and this is off topic a little bit, but I said, if I ever seem like I get to a point where I'm just losing it and I need to go into a mental facility, I need y'all to tell me, and I'm going to listen. I need the three of y'all so they know who they are. So if I'm out here and I look like I just can't get it together for whatever reason, and they say, you know, Barbie, come on now. And no, this ain't that Barbie, Mo. I'm not that one. But if they say, you seem like we've been seeing some things that are concerning us, and we think it will do you good to go have an evaluation. I said I'm going, hands down. I'm not going to argue with you about it. So you have to be self-aware and know that once you start getting to a point where, competition in any realm is driving you to do stuff that's out of your character, you've crossed the line. We're not talking uh who can carve the best pumpkin, or who finishes the race first, or who can guess the number of jelly beans in the jar. Mm-mm. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, unhealthy competition that pulls you out of your character. As we get ready to go into this new year, this 2025, some of us got to reevaluate some stuff. Am I perfect? No. But I can tell you, I've done a damn good job of working on myself over the years because I really didn't have a choice. I really did not have a choice. I have children that I want to be a great role model for. And before I had my own children, I had bonus children that I was helping to raise. So, you have to put yourself in a position to win without being in competition with other people. Yes, Mo, I'm staying true to myself. I'm authentically me. Same here. You have to be. Can you imagine how much energy it takes to try to be somebody else? First of all, you got to stay on their heels or right beside their side because you don't want to miss nothing. That's the thing. If you're so busy trying to be somebody else and you miss something critical that they've done, you might miss a step. Oh, you might miss a step. So they might get way ahead of you then. So you have to constantly be on their heels. That's draining. I don't want to be on nobody else's heels. I want to walk my own path. I want to chart my own waters. I want to be me. And I feel like sometimes we don't realize what a gift we are as our authentic selves without trying to be somebody else. Yeah, pick up on a trendy term if you are into that. Stuff goes viral and you want to replicate it or reproduce it. Okay, but to take on somebody's whole persona and try to be them because you're jealous, come on now. Come on, y'all. We can do a little bit better. We might not be able to turn this thing all the way around, but we can get around a little curve and make a little bit of improvement. So think about it. Think about it. And she said, I ain't got it. I don't have the energy. No, no, no. I am on my second cup of coffee, just trying to make it through the day. I don't have the energy to try and put anybody else's persona on top of that. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't see myself doing it. So that's all I got for today. Be who you are. What's the saying? Because everybody else is already taken or something like that. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I already done said enough. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm hoping that people who need this will hear it and take it in. And you ain't gotta tell nobody. Just say, that's something to think about. And who am I without trying to be like this person or without trying to talk like this person? Or it's like when people from down south go to New York for a day or two, and I'm exaggerating, maybe a week or so, and then they come back talking like they done lived in New York all their lives, trying to talk like that kind of stuff. It's fake and it's phony. My band director used to say at one time, You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So marinate on that. I thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know if you catch the replay and have an amazing day. Toodles.